There you go. Following the regular meeting of the council of the Harlem Township order. And with that, since we do not have our assistant this evening, I will call the roll. Lee Greenwell here. Me here. Mike Gavin here. Jim Benson here. Brittany Hopper here. And our alternate Alan Zago here. All members are present. We will move forward with our regular meeting. And then when it gets to be 7:40 or as possible, hopefully at that exact time, we will then move to open the hearing that we have scheduled. The other officials that are present, well, Mike Cannon just left the room, but he'll be back. He's the one who turned the recording on for me. And Jim Steele Smith is our director of economic development. They are both here this evening. Okay, with that, I will see if there's any new applications to be submitted. All right, there are none to be submitted tonight.
Oh, I have one.
I'm sorry.
Say new application?
Yeah, just call for it.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was talking to Jim. Sorry about that. I do have one.
Oh,
Are you still able to accept
okay. I saw you were here, but I
that?
maybe decided that you were just here to listen.
Yeah, I'll pop. Just come to hang out.
This is for the banded properties, I think. Assuming.
Yes.
Yes. Louis, would you open the envelope and look at the checks so that we can verify that we have received the appropriate payment? Okay. Two checks, what you got there, right, Phil?
I think your checks. There's a regional planning. check as well.
Oh. There should be two for the Harlem Township.
Three total. Nope, sorry, one for DC and one for DC.
Yeah.
That's all there are two.
I don't think we get that.
We deliver that
I've never seen it come
separately?
in here before.
Okay, I can deliver it to them if it's easier to deliver that one directly. They charge for their review as well, so I didn't know if you guys had to run it to them. But I can run that
We
one.
haven't in the past
Okay,
that I'm aware of.
okay. I'll make sure they get a copy.
Please do.
Sure.
And then the two checks, there should be one for the base fee and then one for the acreage fee.
Base fee is for 1,200,
Yes.
no change, and acreage is 1,112, 10 cents.
Right, Tom's doing the calculation. Verify.
Yeah, cool, well. 1,112,
All right, thank you. Looks like we got the correct number of copies, yes, need the checks, here's the original one. And then we would like to set a hearing date. No, first meeting in October is the 7th. Everyone, it's acceptable, but everyone, 7:45 again. Time.
And is this is 2408?
Yes, this would be 24:08. $7:40.
Mike, you said that was October.
October 7th. Monday, October 7th at 7:40.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. See you soon.
You're welcome to stay, but that's all we need, for. Start.
Yes.
Steve.
Thank you.
Okay.
We'll see you soon. Thanks.
Just ask for applications.
Yes, no.
Thanks, I went there, tell them. There's a lot of walk you out.
Yeah, you guys got another application here.
That's why.
Oh, it's not a zoning application, but it is a request here, I know that, yeah.
Yeah.
Request for preliminary.
They can.
Right. I don't know what mine must have kept check. Well, I'll give you some more copies in a second. That's the other flow. I'm sure how many they ran out. One. You got 3 copies.
It's insufficient.
We'll have to get some additional copies made.
We can make it.
I only have 3 copies.
Should be.
I mean, we got the original, they must break, and 3 copies. That's the original.
This is.
I was gonna say, there should be five there.
Never mind, I guess you printed, they printed it in color, so the signature.
So we need an extra one, we have 6 now.
So we've got, I guess we've got 4
Communicate
copies.
that with them.
So we need 2 more copies.
Are you asking me to get you a couple more copies?
Yeah, can you run them?
I
please?
can do that.
I'm sorry, we don't have anyone else.
That's all right.
All right. Get one down there. All right, so for,
Right, I don't think Alan got one either. We actually need 3.
did I say 2?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right, because I thought we had 6, but we really need 7. Yeah, we'll need 3. My bad.
Start remembering that we have an alternate again.
So, yeah, we set the hearing. Bandit properties. How do you want to do, any suggestions for a preliminary meeting?
Hard to say how long that is gonna take.
No idea.
I don't think it'll be a, 10 minutes.
Oh, no.
I wouldn't want to schedule this with that.
Well, and usually when we do preliminary, we expect. 2 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we in the past, we've always done the workshop meetings, but we use our workshop meetings with Scott Sandy. So we could look at scheduling an extra meeting. We gotta see that approval. Which you didn't win, huh?
Monday and.
Yeah. The second Monday, we had, third Monday, PCA, right? So if we're sticking with the Monday, we have to do the 4th. 4th Monday of October, I can't. All right, so let's schedule the first preliminary, hearing will be on October 28th. And since there's no other things scheduled for that evening, let's schedule it to start at 7:30. There'll be a preliminary meeting, special meeting of the zoning commission to hold a preliminary subdivision slash plan district meeting to consider, what they have submitted. And provide them with some feedback. Obviously, there's only two pages, so there's a lot of something. You might go ahead and tell them there's a lot in this.
He knows he's got to bring everything else for the list,
Oh, okay.
for you guys, for the actual.
And there's no narrative at all. Just a map. I mean, showing the development. But there's no narrative. Okay,
No, that sounds.
oh, I'm sorry, we got the district copies, and I'm holding on to them. All right, you need one, yes,
And Alan, each one.
Alan,
One for me? All right, thank you.
sorry. Brittany has one,
Yeah, that's.
and you need one. Okay, so I still have two. So we put one on with the check. Did you keep the check? Mr. Cannon?
Did.
So, Mr. Cannon took the check to the office. All right, so we got preliminary meeting set for October 28th. So,
He needs to provide expresses. So they get it.
all right, at this point, I'm going to make the assumption that room here is available, so we won't need to hear here, if that turns out to not be the case.
And what date is that?
October the 28th is a Monday
At 7:30?
at 7:30.
I would really appreciate it if you could get us that other information before that.
Yes. That comes back. About that, yes. Do some follow-up. Yeah, Mike. One other thing regarding, this information submitted by Mario Capuccio. Riccia, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Mispronouncing the name. But if, you would follow up, if you would please, and indicate we'd like to have the additional information that's.
Yeah, Joni was saying that as I was walking out. I caught him out
Oh,
front
did you
here and
catch
said
it?
they want all the information. He's gonna send it to me early.
Yeah.
So,
So he's got. A good time. to get
yeah,
it.
he says he's got it all done. He'll probably send it to me tomorrow.
Yeah.
If I get it, I'll,
That
to you
that
guys.
should, and we'd like to have it, say, if you could get it to us 2 weeks prior to the scheduled preliminary meeting, that would be an ideal situation.
as soon as I get it, I'll give it to you guys.
Thank you. Right, if we reach, yes, we have, it's past 7:40, so with that, we'll recess our regular middle of government. And open, the hearing for Jared and Rachel Phyllis, application show HTCC 2407. And I will call roll again. Louis Ringo. Here. Tom Lee. Here. Mike Capel. Here. Wendy Manson.
Here.
Brittany Hopper.
Here.
And Alan Zappa.
Here.
All right, thank you, everyone present, and we will move forward then into the hearing. Briefly, let me just explain in terms of, procedures, what we would like to do in terms of, our expectations for conducting the hearing. Commission members will be provided the opportunity to ask any initial questions. There will be no public participation at that time. Following, the discussion by the commission, board will be provided the opportunity to comment and ask questions. During this time, please observe the following procedure. Members of the public, if you're present here tonight, please step up to the podium and state your name and address so that it can be recorded, because our meeting is being recorded. We don't have an assistant present tonight, but the information is being audio recorded, actually video and audio recorded.
At the time that you come to the podium, please be brief and factual. We would appreciate it if you did not bring up a point or question that was previously addressed or asked. Remember, only one person can be heard at a time. Oh, I didn't turn mine on either, but I think it's probably picking it up. At least I hope so. All the mics are on now. Okay, with that said, then we will ask that you please not interrupt the speaker and do not carry on your own conversations with an individual in speaking. And there are no further questions or comments from the public. The public portion of the hearing will be closed, and from that point, no further public comments and or questions will be entertained unless recognized by the chair. Commission members will then have the opportunity to make any additional comments and or ask any additional questions. Okay. Now, we'll go through the process here of checking the application. I'm looking at the form and can ask the assistant because she's not here, but this is the correct form on which the application has been submitted. And the application has been signed by the applicants, both Jared and Rachel. And Jared? Yes, you're present, but Rachel's not present. Okay. And I know that you've used Karen to do some of the survey work for you and provide you with some assistance, correct? Okay. And the specific zoning request on this one is to change the zoning from AR1 to FR1, from agriculture residential, minimum of 5 acres, to farm residential, minimum of 2 acres. Current use is single family. The proposed use is also single family. Now, members of the commission, has the correct legal description been furnished in text and map, and do they reinforce each other?
They have. I do have one question for the applicant. On your application, the address is 3363 Greencliff Road, right? On your general warranty, this old one, the handwritten part here has 3383 Greencliff Road. It looks a lot like an 8.
But at the
Um,
bottom, it does say
yeah.
3363.
Yeah, so you just
Type
might wanna
deed.
make sure your deed is accurate. But the correct one is 3363. Thank you.
Does look like an 8.
Very much.
Let's see, I've got the original here. Let me look at it on here.
Yeah, but it's on 2 different places, Mike, here, and one of it has it right and one of them has it wrong. And I don't know why on the same page they couldn't get both of them the same.
Good question. Ask this to find the,
All the people who had to approve it also didn't notice that. All the others.
all right, I've got the original. Jared, would you come forward, please? I'm going to have you change this 8 at the top to a 6 and put your initials beside it on the original. Yeah, that's where it's wrong. Just cross out the 8 and write a 6. And then put your initials.
Yeah, they're not changing the acreage. Yeah, the difference is between the gross acreage and the net acreage are 2 different numbers.
said it was going from 5 to. It's 5 to 5.
If you have
It's
questions,
just, yeah. the
please
whole-
wait. We will clearly give you the opportunity.
You know, instead of-
We think he misspoke,
I
that's all.
thought you misspoke. I thought you said 5 to 2, but it's 5 to 5.
No, what he said was he's changing the
The
acreage-
zoning
the
requirements
from AR1
to
to
FR1.
FR1.
Yes, on how many?
The whole,
All the whole thing,
parcel.
I
but
thought you said 2.
FR1 zoning is a minimum of 2 acres, and that's what I was pointing out.
Oh,
Not that we, were-
and, it's just 5 to 5.
it is
Yeah.
5 to 5. Okay. Now, the whole parcel is being rezoned. All right, let's see. Take care of that. Change. Keep these originals together. Oh, she was talking to me and I don't know what happened to the original. Here it is. Okay. I don't know why there's extra copies.
That's go to the trustees, right?
I beg your pardon?
The extra ones go to the trustees later, right?
She's got them in this packet with my name on it.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out. But I'm gonna put them all back together so that they'll go back and then they will submit them to the trustees. We've got copies here that we're gonna put signatures on later, possibly.
Mike, is it okay if I use that to review? Well, I'd like to use that just to use while we're reviewing
Oh, you didn't have one?
I never got a copy.
Oh,
That must be the extra one you got right there.
I'll give you this one. I got an extra one here.
That'd be great.
Sure. Here we go.
Oh, that's the extra one. Okay.
I think this is it.
Been hiding over there in his packet. the whole-
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm sorry, I don't remember, if you weren't at the meeting, they were,
I don't think I
Yeah.
was. I think I must have missed that one.
the zoning assistant would provide it, but then she's been out for a whole month, so. I think that's probably why you ended up not getting the copy.
It is possible.
Okay. All right, now. Going forward,
That's your list,
back to the list. I'm trying to find this
page 19,
information here. She gives the whole thing and
page 19.
did you find it?
Yes.
Good. All right. Cause I had no idea where it was yet.
Yes, I know.
I said.
It was a problem.
Page 19. Well, there isn't any reason for us to have a whole thing, but
No.
that's the way they did it. I'll read it when we get to it. All right. Have the adjacent, adjoining, contiguous and or across from property owners been notified?
I believe the Coppolas have been notified.
Yes. All right, are there any members of the public present who were not notified?
Who are
Who
contiguous.
are contiguous to the property, that is. All right, seeing none. Any other possible errors noted?
Just that one number.
There are none, okay. And the recommendation from Delaware Regional Planning, and Joni found it on page 19, she said.
Well, it starts there, it goes on to 20.
But we don't need to read necessarily everything.
Their recommendation is on 20.
I'm going to find it in a second. Okay, staff recommendation from Delaware County Regional Planning Commission. Staff recommends approval of the rezoning request by Jared and Rachel Jacobus from AR1 to FR1 to the Delaware County Regional Planning Commission, Harlem Township Zoning Commission, and Harlem Township trustees. Mr. Manley made a motion to recommend approval of the rezoning request by Jared and Rachel Jacobus. Mr. Matlock seconded the motion, and the vote was unanimously for approval, and no one opposed. So regional plan is recommending approval.
And I did not see any conditions put on it.
Yes, no conditions were stated this time, which that is good. Will the applicant now present want to do anything in terms of sharing any additional information? All right. And with the zoning commission, at this point, I will open it up for any questions that you may have for the applicant. There are no questions, then we'll open it to the public. Are there any members of the public who wish to speak? Yes, would you please go to the podium if that is uncomfortable for you? There is a microphone there that you can drag over to you if you can't stand and use that one. Just make sure it's turned on, please. Yeah,
That'll be fun.
there you go.
Thank you.
Okay. This is what I'm gonna speak to, and there's a sketch and a write-up of my words.
Okay,
My name is Barbara Capalla, and my address is 3425 Green Cook Road, which is the contiguous property to the south of the Jacobus property at 3363 Green Cook Road. I request that all of my verbal and written words and handouts be entered as a matter of record in the zoning commission meeting minutes. And I'd like to make a presentation, and I'd like, again, to please hold any of your questions for me until after my presentation. We are here to present data to support our opposition to the application by Jared and Rachel Jacobus at 3363 Green Cook Road, Johnstown, Ohio, to rezone 5.49 acres from AR1 to FR1. First, we would like to use the information in the legal Harlem zoning resolution, which was approved by the voters on 11/8 of '88. What I furnished you is a sketch that might help you might visually go through what I'm going to speak to. And I'm going to read my non-compliant rezoning issues that we have with this application. In the back, there are pages from the Harlem zoning resolution, the different articles that I refer to in my presentation. And there's little arrows indicating which issues that I'm addressing. So just kind of a quick way to see that. So I'd like to read through my non-compliant rezoning issue. The Harlem Township zoning resolution was approved by voters on 11/8 of 1988 and established a new Article 8 Farm Residential FR1 District. The FR1 Development Standards Section 8.06B, which is attached, lists 4 mandatory lot frontage categories: 2 to 3 acres per with a 75-foot frontage, 3 to 4 acres with a 210-foot, 4 to 5 with a 250-foot, and 5+ acres with a 300-foot. The agricultural A1 district became the base of the district of the township. All lands in Harlem Township not otherwise zoned shall be controlled by provisions of the Harlem Township zoning resolution. Agricultural residence, AR1, Article 7, Section 701, purpose, and Section 702 in application, which is attached. That shows that they, my previous statement. There are 3 categories of properties that can exist in AR1, as illustrated in the sketch, as illustrated in the enclosed diagram. First, there's a compliant 5 to 5+ acres property with 300-foot frontage. Then second on your sketch is a non-compliant category A, which would have been grandfathered, but eligible to be rezoned to a mandatory FR1 category. Third, there is a non-compliant category B, which would have been grandfathered, but not eligible to be rezoned to FR1 because there is no matching FR1 grandfathered category. The Jacobus property requesting rezoning is a non-compliant AR1 category B of 5.43 acres with a 242.62 foot road frontage. Any change to any component within the AR1 grandfathered umbrella would void the grandfathered protection and shall require the property to meet the current FR1 mandatory requirement. And I use mandatory because as defined in your list of terms, requirement of 5.5 acres with a 300-foot minimum contiguous road frontage, in which this property does not. Now, I have some questions. Are there any approved written legal documents like an ordinance or an amendment that would allow for passage of the rezoning application without a variance? If so, what are the case numbers? How can we obtain copies of these documents, or can you provide us copies of these documents? The only written legal document that we have found addresses this issue is in the Harlem Township Zoning Resolution 11-8 of 88, and it indicates that a zoning violation would occur by illegally and unlawfully approving this Jacobus rezoning application. So if there are any questions or anything, Ms. Coppola, I believe you've misunderstood what grandfathering means. Grandfathering doesn't mean that a property has to stay that way always. It means that it can, even if it's not in compliance with the new regulations.
Where is that documented?
That is the definition of grandfathering.
Where
It-
in your terms? I mean, we
The
couldn't find
Ohio
it.
Revised Code or the Webster's Dictionary.
Well, it's not in,
really
well,
care.
Webster's Dictionary, you do have a sheet on Webster's Dictionary, and that's not called out as such.
But if you grandfather something, it's an umbrella of a picture of what all the elements are at that point in time.
And you're
And you
basically,
pull
That
one,
was
and if you pull one
1988.
out, then it no longer looks the same. It's
I-
not in the same picture. I'm sorry, I still don't believe that you are understanding what grandfathering means. It does not mean it has to stay that way forever. It means that it can stay that way, even if the regulations change so that it wouldn't be a legal property in the future. But it still is a legal property because it's grandfathered in. So that is not what is occurring in this instance. Well, what category does it go to in the FR1 if it doesn't have the frontage? It has how much frontage? 242.6.
you're creating a non-compliant new category. It's just gonna.
No,
hang it.
it will.
actually,
it
we're
will
not.
become compliant.
What it is a non-compliant lot now.
It's already a
It's in
non-compliant.
excess of 5 acres without 300 feet of frontage. It's non-compliant, but grandfathered. It can be turned into 2 lots
No,
with a
Well,
grandfather.
time out.
Time out.
No,
can't
time
talk-
out. You
you
can't
can't
say
talk
that.
about
You
that.
can't, that is
I'm
not part of.
explaining Why you can have 2 legal lots out of this 5.6 acres.
That's not
That's not,
consideration.
that's not a consideration. That's what,
And I don't
and that's
understand
what,
the point.
and that's what you were
It
told.
will,
in the-
it will be a legal FR1 lot at, you know, 5 point, whatever, 5.5, not quite 5.5 acres
Then-
and 240 some feet.
Your legal resolution says mandatory, these are the categories for the lots, and it says that is a mandatory requirement. And you will have,
You cannot be using the 1988 version of the regulations.
I have today's, I have,
Those are larger, 300 feet.
I have a,
Is that? how we-
this is printed, this is from 8/16 of 24, and it hasn't changed. Those
Okay.
requirements haven't changed.
You know, those, you're right, those have not changed.
Yeah.
So
I understand your objection, and it is noted. It is a part of the record, and now we're going to move forward. You have anything else?
I will note that although we don't consider whether it's becoming 1 or 2 lots, the Delaware Regional Planning Commission's approval did note that they are rezoning AR1 to FR1 to allow the lot to be split into 2 residential lots.
Well, how can they do that? I mean.
Has it been
that-
applied?
You can't go from, how can you go from A to C without going through B, which is like a variance?
Because this will make. both
The
lots-
reality is,
No, no.
we can
you-
make the
you can't-
recommendation
there's-
either way.
There's nothing,
Two, would you
Okay.
please let me speak?
Well,
I
she
will
was
let
trying
you
to
speak.
answer her question.
What was the question?
go ahead.
What I was about to say is that the trustees can approve this lot. They have the authority to do it, whether it meets the minimum requirements or not. The trustees can move forward. If they want to go to move the lot, it's already non-compliant. We're not creating a non-compliant lot. It's already non-compliant. It's outside of the rules because it is less than 300 feet. So we're not creating a non-compliant lot. What we are potentially, if we approve it and the trustees approve it, then the potential is there for the lots, for the lot to be split, and then for it to become compliant. We've dealt with this previously on more than one occasion.
Well, if you
Yes.
remember when we did the Witter thing,
Yes.
and Carl was there, he said, you cannot consider what somebody promises to do with a lot, because there's no legal way that says they have to do that. So it may maybe they don't decide to do the lots, but then you have a non-compliant lot, doesn't fit in any of these mandatory categories of FR1, sitting out there forever.
Correct. You are absolutely
So-
correct. It
so
could
co-
remain, it's already non-compliant. We're
Yes,
not
but
making.
you
it
don't have
non-compliant.
you don't have a category for a 5-acre lot that's under 300 feet. What category do you put it in? It says these have to be in, when you do a new FR1, these are mandatory categories you have to have your property fit into.
We're not
And you don't
creating,
have one.
but we're not creating the lot. It already exists. That's my point. And you understand that too.
Relative to the lot split, and the last time we went through this, Tom made a comment, since a lot split was presented to you in the package, that you're going from a grandfather non-compliant to a lot split, which would be compliant with 2 lots, and your exact words were, then that's a good thing, and then you passed it. But then when it got to the trustees, you were told specifically
By Carl.
by Carl that you cannot consider a lot split for any future rezoning, because it may happen, it may not. Because you have no legal right to force somebody to split a lot once this is
You're
rezoned.
absolutely right. I'm not, and we're not
So
forcing them to
your
do anything.
argument is basically
So you
You're
shouldn't
going
even look at it.
non-compliant to non-compliant.
Correct. That is correct.
And what
That's-
legal document tells you you can have a lot of the 5 acres of 242-foot frontage in the FR1 category? There is not a slot to put them in. You have mandatory lot frontages and you're not meeting that. You have
That
a
is-
5 acre lot,
Not for the 5 acres.
right? So
So
where
it
does
would
it
remain-
go?
We're not changing it from a compliant lot.
I'm not even talking compliant.
Non-compliant. It's already non.
Okay, if okay, well, when you put it into the FR1, your FR1 says these are the mandatory categories when you put a piece of property and you make it an FR1. Okay, the one you have doesn't fit any of the categories. So how do you put it into an FR1 without obtaining a special variance
I think we
to say you
understand-
can do
We
it?
understand your
Yeah,
argument.
well-
We've heard it 2 or 3 times now.
Why isn't a variance? Okay, give us
Well,
your.
yeah,
reason.
why don't
Why
you-
aren't you considering
Why
a
don't you
variance?
consider variance?
This is not the BZA.
What?
This is not the Board of Zoning Appeal.
Well, we realize it goes to the Board of Zoning Appeal, but you could not pass it and basically say a variance is required, and then it would have to be resubmitted a new application to the BCA. That's a
That's-
decision you can make.
Yeah.
You can say,
You are correct. That is a decision that we could make. And we are certainly aware of that. And we understand, at least I do, I understand your argument that there is no category for a 5 acre lot that would allow this lot to be
242 foot.
created. If someone were coming in to create this lot from out of a larger lot, then we would not consider, it already exists. It's a non-conforming lot. It's non-conforming not through any action on the part of the property owner,
Where,
but it's because the zoning resolution was changed. When this lot was created, it was a legal lot, and then it became non-conforming. So that's where we are. We understand your argument. You can continue to pursue that. I think the board members understand it. At this point, I'm going to close the public participation and ask the zoning commission members if you have any additional questions about it, or you want to discuss it further.
No, I mean, it gets, your paperwork will be appended to what gets sent on to the trustees.
Yes, it will go
As-
forward
as
to
you
the
requested.
trustees. Whatever is decided, whether we decide to make the recommendation for approval or make the recommendation for denial, it still goes forward to the trustees for them to take action
Right.
on it. Okay, members of the commission, do you have any other questions or comments?
Like, just for my general understanding, I guess I'm still not clear. The reason we are okay with not adhering to the lot frontage requirements is because it's already non-conforming.
That's my explanation, yes.
I would add that although Carl told us not to consider future uses, that's not in our zoning resolution. To not consider.
One way or another, I guess, but.
where does it
To
say you
consider.
should?
It doesn't say we should or shouldn't, so
No,
we have been,
there's been other instances in the past, Brittany, where a lot was non-conforming. And we approved a change in order at which moving it from AR1 to FR1. Because it had been a non-conforming lot. And when we've done that previously, and in fact, then the lot became conforming. In this case, the lot will remain non-conforming until such time as if they move forward with splitting it. If they don't move forward with splitting it, then it's still a non-conforming lot. As long as it's 5 acres, it's a non-conforming lot. Whether it's FR1 or AR.
The other thing I would say, Brittany, is that if it remains an AR1 lot, if we recommend no change in zoning, it will forever be a non-conforming lot. If we do recommend a change in zoning and the trustees agree with us, then there is the potential
You can't do that.
for it to become 2 conforming lots out of 1
Carl
non-conforming.
said
it-
no.
Not to us,
Carl
and
said
if we
no.
don't do anything, there's no potential for that to happen.
Carl is not in
But
right.
not necessarily.
not in
right?
the code,
Because if they
what
took it
Carl
to the
said.
BZA to get a variance, they could.
They
Do
could go to
something
the
with it.
BZA, yes, they could go to the BZA
There's no
and
reason for them to
request
go
a
to BZA.
variance in terms of the amount of frontage that they have. And make it a 5 acre conforming lot. Potentially, could they do that? Yes, they could. We're not at this point. That's not for us to necessarily recommend one way or the other. What we can do is we can either approve the request or deny I'm sorry, we're not going to approve or deny it. We're going to make a recommendation to the trustees to either approve or to deny it. And it's up to us to make that decision. And from my perspective, as I'll make the comment that I think in terms of the property owner, it's in the best interest of the property owner for us to recommend to the trustees that it be approved. But if you feel otherwise, and you believe that the argument being presented is a strong enough argument, you can vote to deny it. But we don't have a motion on the table one way or the other, Jim. There's no motion. We're just having a discussion about what the options are.
Okay.
If we can make, as I said, we can make the recommendation, it continues to move forward, whether we recommended approval or we recommend denial, it will move forward to the trustees.
The other
Because we're
thing
holding
that,
a
the other thing
hearing.
that occurs to me is if it goes to the BZA, I think the only thing they can do is to make that 5 acre lot a conforming AR1 lot. That's not what the landowner wants. He wants to be able to build, it's obvious from the paperwork, the landowner wants to be able to build the second house on the lot, to split it, to have two single family residences. And the BZA doesn't have any call on it. That's not their decision to change the zoning. They can simply say the existing zoning becomes conforming or not, and I'm not even sure they would do that. But they don't give the landowner the ability to bring it into conformance as 2 separate lots. That's what we have to do here.
I guess I'm just hung up because I feel like we're supposed to be following what's in the resolution when. I guess if we're following it word for word, it doesn't, but I'm just trying to understand
I don't think we're,
how I'm supposed to make the call.
We're not making it
using this,
worse.
what?
in my mind, we're not making it worse. Parcel exists the way the parcel is today. And whether it's AR or FR, it's no different than it is. If it's AR, if it remains AR, they have no options. If it's rezoned to FR, they have an option. They've already gone to the Regional Planning Commission to explore that option. I think it's likely that they'll continue to do that. My concern is the concerns that the regional planning, one that is sufficient area for septic. And I don't know if test holes have been dug yet. And the other is,
Do you have a question for the property owner?
No.
Okay.
I'm responding to Brittany's concerns. And so you either have, so that the soil type is one thing, and that we not create more than a 3 acre lot that requires more frontage than they already have. The only thing they can do is have 2 acre lot on the road and a 3 acre lot behind it on a flag. And I assume that they understand that. That's really your only options. And it becomes a mirror image of the Witter property.
That help to clarify? I mean, it doesn't give you a specific answer to the question about the legal, whether the legal requirement is being met of it being 300 feet. It's not 300 feet. It's not going to meet that.
But it's okay for us to recommend it anyways, even though it doesn't meet the legal requirement.
That's up to you to decide for yourself. If you don't want to vote, if that's the motion that comes forward to approve or make a recommendation for approval, then you make a decision about whether or not you think it's something that the trustee should approve. All right. What's the pleasure of the commission at this point?
I don't have the cheat sheet. Well, I make a
Oh.
motion to approve, I make a motion that we send to the how do I do this without my cheat sheet?
Well, hang on a second.
I make a motion that the Harlem Township Zoning Commission recommend to the Harlem Township trustees that application HTZ 2407 be approved.
All right, we have a motion to forward a recommendation to the trustees for approval of application HTCC 2407.
And I'll second that.
Moved by Joni Manson, seconded by Tom Need. Further discussion on the motion now. So, Brittany, in your case, just so you understand, if you don't agree that you want this to be recommended to trustees for approval, then you should vote no.
Yeah.
Louis, you fully understand
Yep,
that too. as
I got
well.
it.
So the motion then is to forward it to the trustees with the recommendation for approval. And I'll call for a voice vote. Find the list here again that we're going to sign. It's here. There it is. Okay. Louis Greenwell,
You're voting aye or?
aye or nay?
Aye.
Tom Need, aye or nay? Michael Kabler. Aye. Joni Manson?
Aye.
Next thing. I don't know.
You're abstaining. That's an option. I didn't explain that to you,
Yes.
but you're absolutely right. That's an option that you have.
You don't need me anyways.
Okay. So that'll move forward to the trustees. All right, the
Yeah.
recommendation,
You have the thing to sign.
yes. I wrote your name on there and marked it out. So you have it, you can sign it beside your name. All right, we will move forward with our recommendation to the trustees. The trustees will receive it at their meeting this month. They will then set a hearing date, which will happen sometime within 30 days. And it'll be up to you to whether you want to be present or not, but you should, my recommendation is that you should attend the trustee meeting and hearing, because it will be a hearing also. They will not be sending out any notices, but it will be posted.
Is this September 18th? They'll have the hearing? September,
no.
no.
I'm sorry, ask me again,
No.
please.
Oh,
No.
no, not on September the 18th.
They will receive the.
They will
application.
receive our recommendation
So October.
and they
would
will
be-
set a date in the future
For a hearing.
for a hearing.
So October would be the earliest.
The October will be the earliest for them to schedule the hearing. That would be correct. And they will be required to schedule it within 30 days. So if it happens to, they normally would do it at their regular meeting, but if that regular meeting happens to be more than 30 days from the Wednesday when they receive it, then they would have to schedule a special meeting.
Yeah,
or
probably
hearing.
okay. It'll be the 16th.
Will it be okay? Will it
Should be.
within 30? Okay. Joni checked the calendar, said it'll be within 30 days, so it's probably going to be at their
28.
regular meeting on October 16th.
Okay.
When,
But
when,
you should check
yeah.
Yeah.
with the
website,
trustees to
sure.
find out.
What's your timetable? When do you give it to the trustees?
It'll go this week to the trustees. They will receive it at their regular meeting
Third.
this
okay.
month.
Right, okay,
Yeah, and the regular meeting this month is on the third Wednesday.
right.
18th.
Okay.
18.
Mhm.
That's where we'll be. All right, so that's how the process will move forward. With that, I'd like a motion to adjourn our hearing on
I
HTCC.
move we adjourn hearing HTZC 2407.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay. The hearing is adjourned. And now I'll call the regular meeting of the zoning commission back to order. And going back to our agenda, the next item on the agenda will be Holly. And Jim. We do need to, after we finish with Holly, we do need to take action on the August 5
Yes.
minutes. Yeah.
Check the endless.
The only thing, on the August 5th ones is, did anybody figure out whether that was Robin Lobenstein?
Yeah, it is Lobenstein.
I also noticed at the top, public
So it's
presence,
not Lowendick or whoever. Okay.
and also it says Alex instead of.
Yeah.
Unless you have a brother named Alex that joined our call.
Are you in ALAN or an ALEN? Two changes here.
2 changes?
Alan was spelled wrong.
Oh, it says Alex, yeah.
Robin.
And it was Robin Lobenstein. I'm on August 5th.
Oh, Lord, Dick, okay.
We want to go ahead and approve those? Anybody else? And
I didn't see anything else.
I make a motion to, anyone, to approve the minutes from the August 5th regular meeting as well as the hearing combined as corrected,
That's corrected?
I'll
second it.
All right, it's been moved and seconded that we approve the regular meeting minutes of August 5 and the hearing minutes of August 5. All those in favor? Well, no, let me ask first, are there any additional questions? All right, hearing none, then all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, nay. All right, they are approved. And we will forward those. For the 12th, we'll hold those off and deal with those next week.
Got it.
All right, are you ready to go now? I'm sorry that we ran a little long there, but
I have the Zoom up waiting to be let in if you want me to share my screen. Otherwise, I can just go off of my, my version of here and you guys can look at your paper copy.
is your paper or what you have on your screen gonna be the same as our paper copy?
What I have is what's called draft 1, July 2nd, 2024, as introduced to the zoning. Commission.
That's the one that we have, or I have a copy of.
July 2nd.
July 2nd, 2024. Okay.
I see. I don't see anything that says somebody's waiting. Although I also don't really know how to use this.
Well, this is zoning workshop. I might have got into the
Oh,
wrong thing.
okay.
Actually.
I was gonna say, usually it like.
No, this isn't the workshop. This is a regular meeting.
I just realized I hit the wrong one. So let me go to.
You're gonna try it now.
Oh,
September 3rd on it. That's what I clicked.
everybody left. I thought they'd stay to hear this outstanding presentation.
Sure.
So I don't know. I'm clicking
Okay.
on the one that says September 3rd, but. See, it says September 3rd, click here. That's what I'm doing.
Something, what was it?
It came on again, but it goes to zoning workshop meeting, even though it says September 3rd here.
Is there anything that says regular meeting?
I invite you.
Yes. Try that.
Is anybody online at all?
No.
I don't think we ever had anybody join. I didn't notice anybody.
I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on. Just want to go with what you have in front of you, because it matches what I have in front of me. So we can walk through it with you. So, so this is our next overlay district that we have drafted. And if you look on page 2 of the draft, you will see a map that shows you the area that it's covering.
I have a question. How did you guys come up with these areas?
Yep, that's what I was getting ready to talk about. So.
She's gonna talk.
Yep, so, obviously, we've been coming up County Line Road, as, you know, the last one that we did. Originally, we talked about going east along Trenton Road. We weren't exactly sure, how far east we wanted to go with, what we already had in place with the County Line Road Overlay District.
West,
Um,
going west on.
Sorry, west, thank you. Going west on Trenton Road. We did take a look at some various things surrounding the township. And one of the things that really kind of pushed us in the direction that we went with this was the Sunbury annexations. So just to the north, Sunbury has annexed approximately 1,000 acres. And it's coming really close to Harlem Township, one property away. And thoughts are that it may actually get to that property, so it is abutting Harlem Township soon.
Okay, and this is along Trenton Road,
It will-
east or west of 605?
So west of 605.
West of Miller Paul?
It's.
I'm not
Yes.
sure where they are.
Paul area, huh?
Yeah, I'm just not sure where the Sunbury's is.
Well, you know what? If I could share my screen, I also work for Trenton and I have the annexations, I can show them to you.
You can't get logged in. If you go to the township website and click on the township meeting, it doesn't log you in. Well, then maybe we didn't get anybody because of that.
Yep. Be my guess.
So,
You had somebody on it.
yeah, there was somebody there.
Oh, there was somebody else there?
Somebody named Matt.
Somebody got
And he
creative.
left immediately after the hearing. Soon as you guys voted it through.
So this is Trenton Township. This area right here, this purple color,
Mhm.
is everything that has been annexed into Sunbury
Mhm.
over the last several months. So, so far is, right in this area here. Actually, it's right here.
Yeah. So this is west of Miller Paul even.
Mhm. So
In the pink area.
the pink area, I mean, not to get into Trenton Township stuff, but this is what we're proposing in Trenton Township as, light industrial, because,
Oh, are you
Yeah.
working with Trenton Township as well?
Pretty much.
Okay, so that's why you know so much about Trenton.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
so, the purple area, with Sunbury annexed in, they rezoned it to limited industrial.
Mhm.
Trenton Township is calling for light industrial, surrounding that area.
What's the difference between limited and light?
When I do my overlay for them, if they choose to utilize us for their zoning, I would do more advanced manufacturing, logistics, similar to what you have in your County Line Road, up by 37. The Sunbury Limited Industrial isn't really limited.
It covers everything.
Unlimited.
Yeah, it should be called unlimited, yes,
It's almost everything but a steel mill.
yeah.
It's just manufacturing everything.
So what we decided was, because you already have that pocket along 37. With those lighter industrial uses.
Yeah.
We would bring those slightly to the west, which is showing up as just.
Where did it
Back in
go?
the corner.
Give it to Louis?
I'm sorry, I interrupted you. I was trying to locate something so doesn't get lost. I don't know where it is.
The,
What are you looking for?
The signature page.
For which?
For the hearing.
No, not that one.
Yeah, it's right, it's got it, right there.
no,
That's the thing we just signed for the.
Oh, this one. It's got it. Never mind.
Okay.
That's what I was looking for. Thank you. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Yeah, you're- You good now?
Yeah, go ahead. I'm just checking to see.
I was
if we
just
got
putting all the
signatures.
originals
Yep,
over here.
we got them all.
So along 37, we have already in the County Line Road district, more light industrial, advanced manufacturing, logistic uses. Our thought is to move west with that, just along Trenton Road, which does not have a color on it right now, because we'll just do a map amendment at some point in time for that area. And then as you get further west, you start seeing the blue and the green up here. On the
so
south
that,
side of
that
Trenton.
gray area right beside the CLR is
Mhm.
gonna be,
That we
Same.
anticipate that going the same as the CLR.
okay. To add to CLR.
Oh,
This CLR is this
oh,
one.
oh, you're looking, I got it.
And then as you get to the blue, which is referred to as sub area A, we're looking at more auto oriented commercial uses for that area to be service industry, service commercial uses to the industrial areas that surround you in both Harlan Township and Trenton Sunbury area. So restaurants, car washes, different types of service-based commercial uses. And then the green area, as you go down 605, is something new that we haven't done in the township yet. But we did do something similar in Granville Township. So we have tried to move that over into the Harlem model and allowed what we're referring to as cottage businesses. And cottage businesses are defined as a small commercial use under 5,000 square feet that is entirely enclosed by 4 walls of a primary structure. The building's form may appear to resemble a residential structure, and uses falling under the cottage business designation shall blend with and cohere with the residential neighborhood and shall not create noise, vibration, glare, fumes, odors, and electrical interference detectable to the normal senses. on a
We also have that in our general development standards now. So it applies to all.
Yep, so the purpose of the cottage business definition is to keep it under the 5,000 square feet and make sure that it blends with the residential character. What we've allowed for in this overlay is to allow cottage businesses if the parcel abuts and has access to State Route 605. Anything that is behind 605 and doesn't abut it would then be limited to residential uses and would be required to cluster the residential uses just like they are required to in the CRCD. So it's trying to create a more walkable sense of place community with pockets of commercials and appropriate locations. And it's actually more of a form-based code than what we have done in the past with your overlay districts. So we tried to create transect areas showing where buildings should be placed along 605 to create that streetscape with blending with the residential character, but allow those commercial uses. So it's different concept than what we've done in the other overlay districts, but really getting at utilizing existing residential structures that have been turned into commercial buildings already. You already have that on 605.
Yeah.
So extending that kind of concept further north along 605.
So why are we doing B and C now? It seems that the purpose of doing this particular overlay was to cover the Trenton Road area across the north end. And does this also cover those couple of properties you talked to us, Jim, about that might go into the Galena Sewer District or something?
Yeah, so,
Cover those?
yeah, so segue on that. Mike just reminded me. So originally on Trenton Road, this area, originally we were going to do just our standard residential. Sunbury came down on us, talked with, been having talks with Galena, and they're very concerned also. So we've put in this, we've switched, put in this to augment what Sunbury's doing. In other words, if they're gonna put that in there, then we're gonna get some of the tax money and some of the industry. The idea is that they don't come across Trenton Road into Harlem Township for these businesses, that they'll, you know, we already have them. Also, those two properties are still there. And one of the big properties that annexed to Sunbury is owned by somebody that is also on the Harlem side. Don't know what they're gonna do, but they did sell and it did get annexed into Sunbury. So with all these different things going on, Galena is trying to figure out, we've had talks, we're trying to figure out how we can help each other and stabilize that area so that Sunbury doesn't swing down and just becomes a big industrial pot. And so this is part of it. We have talked to them about maybe a joint economic venture of some sort. They have
Talking about that with Galena.
Then also Galena has crossed the creek and they've put their sewer up there by the church where M&I Homes is building. And so the sewer is not going to be too far from us, Galena sewer, not Delaware sewer.
Mhm.
So we're trying to initiate talks that even though we might not put the sewer in for many years, but if we could become a Galena sewer district, there again, with this type of zoning, a possibility of a sewer, some kind of economic agreement with Galena, it'll stop Sunbury from coming in. Galena's worried about them coming across Trenton Road and coming up under them. And on these annexations that just happened, we all know that Sunbury touches Galena on the north. Well, by them having done that, they now touch them on the east. They came in beside them. So they're very worried about that also.
So
That answers your
does,
question?
does our blue sub area A, does that need to come down a little bit on our west side with Galena to,
We're over about as far as we can get.
Yeah, I think we're good. Yeah.
Or you're saying to drop
Oh,
it
we drop
deeper?
it
down.
further down.
Well, what we're
south.
trying to
just
do is
along,
not
just along that
separate-
west edge?
Well, yeah, on that west edge. I don't think that's gonna make any difference. We kept it on properties. We didn't split any properties. And, that parcel that you're looking at down there is the one that's not on there. We covered the one of main interest. That's with the old car farm. I forget who's on it now. But I don't think that's a problem. They're serviced off of Woodtown. I don't think
And you
Galena's
have
working that.
residential going east after that one parcel, so I don't see that developing. as
Galena's not really interested in Harlem at this point. They're interested a little south of that. But they're small. They said they don't wanna, they're actually trying to get sewer district to the west of them also. And Delaware County's fighting them on that. They're just trying not to get surrounded like everybody else. And by using them as a partner or a potential partner, then helping us, we can maybe stop Sunbury from flopping down. But like I said, there is a property owner who sold a large tract that got annexed into Sunbury, and they're also on the Harlem side.
And that property owner is the property that is right at the corner there of the township? Is that where it is?
Say publicly.
Well,
You can look it up. It's not hard.
I'm just trying to figure out where it is that you're talking about, that's all.
It's along that Trenton Road.
It's along Trenton Road, but
It would be west of Miller Paul.
west of Miller Paul, south of Trenton, for us.
The blue area.
Now, that area that has already been annexed,
We have to do B and C.
how close does that come over to Miller Paul? It,
They're almost to Miller Paul. They had options. And the developers did, and they didn't exercise them this time. So they almost
It's gonna
hit
kill
Miller
our
Paul on the north of Trenton Road.
yeah, they came close to Miller Paul.
Yeah, they came close,
We need-
and
we
some of
need
those
some of
farmers had,
those-
they had
The
options. on it,
green
but
and
they
red
didn't
areas to
exercise them
be into.
this time around because of
or we will not have one.
utility constraints,
Okay,
And
but who knows in the near future.
so we're looking at that whole area along Trenton, all the way over to Miller Paul.
Yeah, in fact, I'm looking at the Trenton map in conjunction with your map. And really, that blue area aligns quite nicely with what we're calling light industrial in Trenton Township.
I mean, lines up pretty much then, even to the east of Miller Paul for the light
Yeah.
industrial.
and east
Correct,
of
yeah.
605.
Okay, in Trenton, that is.
And keep in mind, this Trenton map is not approved.
I understand, yeah. No, that's something it's under consideration, yeah.
Okay, so I have another concern as well with the green and the red sub areas B and C. I think they take up some space that should go into a town center district, which we've been asked to do for ages from our residents.
I couldn't hear what you said.
We've been asked to do by our residents at many meetings to do a town center district.
It's
And
there.
I think the green and the red are gonna intrude on that, because
If you look
if
at,
you just look at what we originally decided was going to be a town center area,
No, we had a
It's
second
already
one.
into the green.
I don't, well, the green maybe because the green allows those cottage businesses along 605. So the cottage business overlay is supposed to be an extension of what we're gonna do in the center village. The medical, the sub area C that we're identifying as medical uses, I don't believe that there's any overlap with your quick strategy guide. for that area.
There isn't, but I believe medical center should be in a town center area, not its own designated area.
But the medical center that would most likely be attracted to that area is going to be more suburban in style than a downtown setting.
Our center village is never going to be a downtown setting.
When I'm talking, this is going to be more like a higher,
It'll be a complex.
yeah. And it's
Yeah.
gonna be taller than what you would probably envision in your downtown setting. And it's been targeted by several entities as being
Yeah.
prime location for medical.
It's not a location that can easily be annexed.
No, you're correct. I
So
agree.
I don't see why we need to do a spot zoning for one particular.
I don't believe it's.
company or
spot
corporation
zoning
or
because
whatever.
It's a lot of acreage and it's calling for a complex, uh, campus style development. If it was one parcel and it was small, I would agree that it could be considered spot zoning. This is several acres. I can actually get the acreage at some point for you, but
It's over 200.
yeah, it's a lot.
Is that really what we want, though? A medical campus?
Well, let's not forget, this is an overlay. That area's been targeted and the landowners are considering it, okay? So the idea is that we need something medical, not for only ourselves, but to our neighbors to the north and especially to our east. They need medical. All the medicals down around New Albany right now. We're talking not just the doctor's office, we're talking maybe these new centers that do a little bit of ER, urgent care, you know, that type of thing. But this is just an overlay. You don't have to do that. We may come in and find a better use and do an overlay on the overlay. See what I'm saying? Or if we find that Center Village is expanding to the east on that first property, it doesn't have to stay medical center. We can expand the Center Village overlay to put on top of that so that the property owners can pull that down and use that. This isn't a absolute, is what I'm saying. It's possibility. We're getting ready for the interest that's been expressed. And also some of what the landowners are.
I don't really see it as belonging in a district that is an overlay district that is essentially designed to protect our northern boundary and be light industrial or whatever you wanted to call it. I just
Well,
don't think these belong in the same.
We can create them into separate overlay districts, but we were trying to consolidate, you know, our overlays so that you didn't have 20 different overlay districts.
Why does that have to be a commercial type overlay anyways? Why can't it be used by some of the residential overlays that we already have?
You
or
can change it. What
PRDs
happened
or-
was,
I don't
there
know.
is interest in that area because of Center Village Road.
Mhm.
That is Duncan Plains on the other side. That, you know, the money that it would generate would help the township. But there's one farm there that's 183 acres. We normally don't split in our overlays property. Now, if those people, if we could talk to them, maybe we could reduce that amount of acreage to the medical. You understand what I'm saying? But normally speaking, as looking at all our overlays, we generally try not to split properties. And there's a lot of interest in that.
And as far as sub area B, it is exactly like your CRCD. It just allows for these cottage businesses along State Route 605. So it provides an extension of your village center along the main road. Otherwise, it is exactly like your CRCD, 50% open space. The densities are the same. et cetera.
I don't know, I guess I would just be more comfortable if we had a better idea about what our center village district
We
overlay
were
was
saying
going to
that you
be.
can't get the powers that be to agree with what Center Village should look like. In fact, Mike and I started again, and we had to put a pause on it about the farmer's market, where to put the maintenance building, maybe over here, enlarge that area, then make it that walkable. Because there's some alleyways and stuff over there that are congested that we can clean out and get them walking up to Center Village, put some more shops, start expanding. We have walkable neighborhoods going out towards, projected going out towards Souders.
Yeah, I think that what you're gonna need to do with Center Village is not depend on it being that crossroads. It's gonna have to develop outwards. Because
Well,
that-
we've expanded, like I
that
said, we expanded all the
crossroads.
way, we've set aside ground all the way to Souders as far as zoning. We've gone north,
Mhm.
you're talking, I don't know, Holly, 1,000 houses total,
Yeah,
easy.
yeah, I mean, we did go all the way to Souders with it.
And then we went north, so you're talking a large area. I mean, it doesn't look large when we're out in the country and we're driving down and we see hundreds of acres here, hundreds of acres there. But when you start developing that, to try to keep it a walkable community with some light commercial and walkable, heading towards Souders, trying to enlarge the park area. I don't have any renderings to show you because we can't get the powers that be to agree on where some of these main facilities should be. Once we have that, then we can all have a discussion about what we're gonna do. But right now, we can't get them to agree on, some of the main aspects of the Center Village. Like there's available parking over there where more parking, you can park, go up to, Center Village Road. On the other side, there's some properties that probably would be happy to sell. And redo those into some shops and that type of stuff, but we're just not getting
There are gonna be some homeowners that don't want to be moved out of there.
they don't have to be moved.
Okay,
It's all voluntary.
okay,
There's no eminent domain, absolutely not. No eminent domain.
good.
So that's what we're working on is with what we have. Trying to get some consensus from the trustees, that's who the powers that be, that's the
Mhm.
trustees. So that we can sit down with the Parks Committee, and all the different committees, zoning, everybody, and try to figure this out. And
So Jim, you're saying a facilities plan, a township facilities plan would be some sort of 10-year look ahead, 15-year, 20-year. Where are the facilities, the facilities we have today, where are they gonna be? Where are we gonna build new
right,
facilities?
and then we have some urgent requests, urgent needs, but
Sure.
yeah, you
We've
build
got
on that.
short-term, medium-term, long-term.
Yeah, exactly.
And
exactly.
that should be, I would think, part of that plan that John Trainer's been talking about, the
John and I
township-wide
just-
master plan,
Well.
should
John and I
include
talked about it.
a section on our own facilities. So that we're not building something today only to tear it down 5 years from now.
Oh, no.
We don't
No,
wanna
in
do that.
fact, I talked with the Parks Committee. They were wanting to do a winterization on the current restrooms. So Mike and I went over and looked at it. Number one, I don't think it'll work. I think it's still gonna freeze with what they were gonna do. However, so then they were talking about building a new one. I go, whoa, wait a minute. You're gonna spend all this money on something that may be obsolete in 2 years.
Right.
3 years. So we did put a stop to that.
So back to Joni's point, I think what you described about the Center Village overlay district, the concept that you kind of moved around with. You said it went up north. How far north did it go from?
Holly's
from
got
there?
it on a map
Because
there.
if it goes too far north, then you're into the sub area B and you're kind of crossing.
I gone around that the green area does not impede the.
Okay. From his description, it sounded like he said he went
No,
a
that's
thousand.
what I
homes.
said, when you talk about ground, sometimes it sounds like more or less.
Oh, you got
The big expansion was
Printed
towards
this one off
Souders. Those open fields, because you gotta look at what's open.
And just to show you this, this is Jersey Township. But this is what, when we get to the center village, we should be looking at what did it used to look like? And what can it look like going
Into the
forward?
green.
Yeah.
So this is the kind of thing I envision, like when you get to Center Village, this is
Mhm.
Jersey Township.
Mm-hmm,
But taking images of what things used to look like and how can we redo that,
mm-hmm.
with today's, design standards. It's a matter of what do we want to focus on first? I think we have to focus on the blue area. The other areas.
Yeah, I have no problem with the blue area to get that northern border.
Yeah,
set
in
aside.
fact, John and I and all the trustees, we've had a meeting specifically on that.
Yeah, let's maybe tackle the blue area first, because that's the part that needs our immediate attention. And these other pieces have totally, we're gonna make decisions using totally different information about the green and the pink. The blue can be, we can compartmentalize the blue area and focus on that one.
Yeah, because that just, well, it all came
Take too
about
long.
quick, but we had to move when they came down, I had to do a complete reversal of what we thought was going to go up there. Originally, when we started 2.5 years ago, that whole area was just residential and an NCA. I think we had talked about that northwest area, just gonna be this big
It
block.
was, yeah.
It was just gonna be a big block of, with an NCA and residential, and then when Sunbury pulled that. But yeah, I like that. If you wanna concentrate on that, that's fine.
Would you still call it the cottage business, overlay?
No.
Okay, so it wouldn't be that anymore.
That's a mixed
What would-
use.
So this would be just like a
It'd be
mixed use, light industrial.
Yeah.
Yeah, now what I did is, I had, Holly and I,
Okay.
we cut that down, so those parcels are so deep. Up there, there again, we didn't want to split a parcel, so those parcels are so deep that. About halfway through that parcel, you stop commercial and go into. Like multifamily, nursing homes, that type of stuff, instead of putting all full stores down deep.
Mhm.
So you make it some type of mixed use residential.
Hmm.
In there, so you're not, because I forget what I came up with, I didn't bring my notes. What are they, 3,500 foot deep or something like that, they were very deep, so. What we did, we restricted how deep the commercial could go, and then you go into some kind of mixed use residential.
The commercial can only go to 1,000 feet. back.
Yeah, the 1,000 feet, yeah. And talking with potential developers, which will still be a ways away because we don't have any sewer up there. That would be an excellent area for a assisted living and senior housing. And the senior housing is just 55 and over. They call it senior housing, but empty nesters. So that's a great area for that. And it doesn't put any kids in the school. So it doesn't burden schools anymore. So there's interest in that. I mean, people are willing to work with us on these type of projects. So that is good. Like I said, it's a thing that you have to work with the county, you gotta work with Galena, but that's why we came up with that. And I agree with Joni, as you get down to Center Village, that's one reason it's last, because it's the most complicated. It seems everything else is complicated, but this is really complicated because we're talking about facilities, the farmer's market that we always dreamed of,
Yeah, I don't
expansion.
think there was a complete agreement on the farmer's market.
We had a ton of people from the residences.
Wow.
Don't have to
Not-
do
not
it.
So many people that I've heard from. And certainly judging by how many people show up at the farmer's market all summer in the park area, there's
has to
not
be-
a lot of interest in Harlem Township in
Yeah,
farmers.
well, it has to be a destination. The idea is you don't build a store when there's no rooftops.
Yeah.
As we develop and you want a destination, you don't want them going to New Albany's, whatever they came up with. You want them to stay in your community. So as you get as we say in the industry, you get rooftops. And then this becomes a destination. Doesn't mean it has to be open 24/7. The other thing, like Tom Need was in on conversations with us. Yeah, I'm throwing you under the bus, Tom.
Go for it.
We also wanted a community room inside the farmer's market. You see what I'm saying? So that way we'd have another venue.
Oh, I certainly see a town hall
Yeah, I don't know about that,
necessity.
but it can be a
Because
dual purpose facility.
You do not have the facilities here for trustees' offices that you need. You do not have the facilities here for all the zoning records that you need.
No,
So.
we're
a town
cramped on
hall
offices
is-
now, yeah. The other thing is, where are we gonna put that? So then we also have maintenance needs a building.
Mhm.
And long-term, what does the fire department, there's some real maintenance issues with this building. Are we gonna put a lot of money into it? What are we gonna do?
And you need to expand the park.
Well, that's what I was talking about.
So,
But what we don't want to do on our park is we don't want to build a 50 or 60, 70, $80,000 restroom, year-round restroom. And all of a sudden it sits in an area that we need to tear it down. We need to plan it out. Back to the blue.
I think it'll be a lot faster and easier to do just the blue than to go through this whole thing.
I agree,
That's fine.
yeah. So.
Too much messiness in the other two.
Yeah. I honestly think the best thing to do is for me to go back, remove the other two and get you a new draft showing just the blue with
Mhm.
those standards because it gets a little messy.
Yeah, you got the discussion going here that created some potential issues. And I think in the public, it will get worse. There'll be more of that. So I think that, yeah, I thought that's where we were heading. And I happen to basically agree with it, I guess. I think if we just go with the blue for now
That's fine.
as an overlay, and then
Well,
I'd
that's-
like to see, going back to what Joni brought up regarding Center Village, I'd like to see then, okay, we can do the blue and let's do the Center Village overlay.
I think we try it. I mean, it's only going to.
I
start
still,
making decisions
I know-
to be made.
I understand what you're saying about the quote, the powers that be.
I mean, every time we had sketches for them, we've done all kinds of stuff. And, over the past couple of years, trying to get them on board. And there's just a division of where they think certain things should be between the three of them. And, I can
Well,
go
it hasn't
back and,
helped. It hasn't helped that the trustees' personnel have changed so much in the past.
oh, I'm
few-
talking to them now about it. I
Yeah,
mean, we haven't stopped.
Okay,
And, I do things.
well, no, that wasn't, I think the issue there is the fact that, when you've got that kind of change that happens,
Right.
it does throw
Well, then-
a
then you
whole
have to
new
go
idea-
in and
whole set of
educate.
new ideas into place that you weren't having to deal with before.
Yeah. So, but you have to re-educate. Where were we? Where are we now? What do you think?
Exactly.
So we've got two new trustees. That's what we're doing. This is where we were, what do you think? We need to do something. And but I'm not against that. I mean, I would love to work on Center Village.
Yeah, well, I don't know whether you can do it or not. It just seemed like, okay, if we can do the blue and if we can do the Center Village, you can look at that in terms of also then especially this cottage business overlay idea. And then incorporating that and maybe expanding that.
Yeah.
So if I do the blue, are our borders protected, if you will? Like, have we covered the borders now? I'm.
It's 100%.
I know it's not 100%, but like,
I
we
think
have we gotten
getting,
all our borders with an overlay of some sort? Are we
my wishful
still missing
thinking
any?
is,
I can't even remember what this map looks
we,
like
we don't,
anymore.
we don't really
Still,
have.
there's still a piece between the blue
The edges.
and the,
West.
Okay, we don't have the west.
But there's
We
nothing
don't have
over
the
there
west.
that's a threat to annexation
Right.
right at the moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have a little time on
Yeah,
that.
and
So we
that
have
was
the
just gonna be
immediate threats.
residential.
Yes.
With the blue,
With
we'll have the
something.
immediate
Buttressed.
threats.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll have.
Sunbury is the
Weird
biggest
about the
threat
middle.
at the moment.
Yeah, isn't that funny how things turned around and that happened in 6 months?
Yeah.
You're down at all these different points, then all of a sudden Route 37 becomes a hot spot over on the East County Line Road, and then bam, we get Sunbury annexes 1,350 acres, and we're going, ooh,
What?
yeah, but we had to move fast. And like I said, and I hoping, this is just hope, that if we can get something going with Galena and they can get something going with the county commissioners, just to be a sewer zone, doesn't mean we have to put it in right away. But just that that's our area and Sunbury can't tap into it, that would be huge.
With you, I understand what you're saying, so.
In fact, you guys probably didn't watch. I don't know if you did or didn't, the last trustees meeting. And I had broke the township down into some certain zones, the micro zones. So we have a micro zone, which is eminent development. But we also put the zone up there along Galena where this blue is.
Mhm.
And we specified that completely separate. So, I mean, then the trustees understand how important
I
that is.
feel like this is very consistent with how we moved down to that trustee meeting.
Yeah.
So I'm very comfortable with just doing the blue.
Yeah.
What kind of time frame are we looking at?
When, I mean, it can't be next week, but when do you need in October?
First and second.
October,
Well, we've scheduled the hearing for the first meeting in October, so that's October the 7th. That'll be our first meeting. And that's the hearing that we scheduled is this bandit, which is
which we've seen a couple
That
times.
may take a while.
Yeah.
plant district,
Can we-
which we're at. I
What
don't
about
know
the
how long
workshop?
it'll take.
What about,
The 14th,
Isn't Scott
can we do the
Sanders-
workshop after that?
The workshop,
would that be the 14th or?
Are we discussing solar?
if
Plus,
we
have a
finish
whole-
that up,
We have a whole package.
Don't count on it.
we went ahead and scheduled the 28th with a special meeting because we got another
September 28th?
Yeah.
plant district. that they wanna get.
The trustees
Yeah.
would like to get that sort of locked up, that blue area.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, should
Um,
we reschedule Scott Sanders then?
We
If
could,
this is much, if this is more important?
well, it's just where I was going with, yes, in terms of the October meeting, we could put Scott off for another month and use October the 14th,
That would be good.
That works for me. I'm available that night.
October the 14th.
And I think everybody would be comfortable with that.
And well, and how long would it take though? Will we need a full 2-hour meeting?
Probably.
My guess is yes.
Let's be
Yeah.
serious.
Okay,
Come on.
no, that's good. That's what I want to hear. That's why I'm asking.
Dig into it, see what it looks like. Everybody get familiar with it. I don't, yeah.
Yeah, if we have it ahead of
How
time,
soon
yeah.
would you get it to us for consideration?
Did I get it to you? Let's see, like in 2 weeks?
Oh, that'd be
Yeah.
great. My gosh.
And in the next version, if you could. Well, I guess there are comments. There's 1 or 2 comments in the comment section, but it
I'll get rid
would
of
make
it.
it easier to read if it was,
Yeah, the one I'm
full-
looking
full
at,
page.
the one I'm looking at's clean, so.
Okay. I think there was only
So
just a few smaller comments.
everything that pertains to sub areas B and C will be taken out.
Correct.
So that'll make the document somewhat smaller. I mean, in terms of its length.
But you're gonna be renaming it anyway.
Yeah.
So it's not.
I mean, don't look at what you have, what you're gonna have to get is gonna be totally different.
What
So-
time do you want to start?
That's up to you guys. I can be here whenever that night.
First thing, like 7:30?
On the 14th?
Yeah,
Yeah, on the 14th, we would start our meeting at 7:30. And it'll be a workshop meeting. And I'll go ahead, well, we're gonna have Scott in next week.
Yep.
And we'll indicate to him that we're not gonna have another meeting then with him until November.
okay.
I'll go ahead and send him that information, in an email, so he's aware of it in advance. He can plan accordingly.
He'd actually probably like to see the new Trenton Road overlay.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll have it by next week for him to look at, but when you get.
Yeah,
it.
well,
When you get it, you also send it to him?
He might.
Well, we
wanna
were trying not
attend
to
that meeting, just to.
send it to Scott until. So in past overlays, a lot of times they get marked up or we change this, we change that. So I talked to Scott about it. And the idea was to have it a little further along
Okay,
and then give it to him.
okay. He often has some good information for us from those things too, though.
We can let him know that that's gonna be the topic on that date, and if he
Yeah.
wants to come, he can
Yeah.
certainly come.
Yeah, I don't mind
Well,
it,
yeah,
but I know in the past when we've handed out drafts,
It's not that we would. It's fine for him to come, but I don't necessarily want him to come and those be the hours that he's
Right.
using up,
He just needs to know what he's.
using up our hours,
what he's-
so to speak.
Yeah.
To work on the other, so, you know,
that's
because
true.
we're paying him when he comes.
Yeah.
And if he comes to another meeting, if he wants to volunteer and do it, that's fine,
I
but
doubt
I'm
he
not
does.
necessarily
That's
As
fine.
busy-
inviting him to come
Charity.
so that we would pay him to participate.
But anyway, I mean, if the meeting goes smooth and we don't foresee a lot of changes and we get it worked out, we can ship him off that draft right away.
Mm.
I think that makes more sense, because otherwise he's gonna be reviewing things that may change and why
Mhm.
waste his time.
Right,
Okay.
doing
yeah. And I'd rather do it that way.
Yeah,
Do we need to nail anything down with Galena in the meantime, or
who?
with Galena, or we know what the gravity feed into their sewer plant is?
I'm talking with Galena now.
Or we know the extent of. what
We don't
they're-
know anything.
I mean, what are they going to the commissioners with? Have
They've
they-
already gone and got shot down once.
But they gotta keep
Hmm.
going back.
They're going back. So we're having a meeting with Tiffany next week. Mike and I are. And you can come if you want. So we're gonna be working on the southern end of Harlem Township, but also on the agenda is to see why the commissioners are opposing that when they can't service it. Cause they don't have any way of servicing that area. And see what the problem is, and then get back with Galena, see if we can work out something that they can help. Those two can work it out. We don't have any control over it. We're just trying to be a mediator so we can get this area taken care of. But I know in the last couple conversations from Galena, they have called us and they are concerned. So they're very, very willing to help.
Or work with us.
Yes, work with us. And it's funny just how things have changed. In February, when we first talked to them, a brand new mayor, just feeling his oats a little bit. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And then Sunbury and Delaware County smacked him a little bit. So now he's going, oh. So now we're back to, let's see if we can work something out.
Okay, so we'll look forward to getting the revision and for the October 14th meeting. The plan will be to go over the revised version. We'll have it a couple of weeks prior to that.
Yeah,
All right,
thank you.
that's great. Do you want to go ahead and do the other minutes? Do we have those finished, the August 12th?
No, because the document she printed is not the correct document. So, oh, we can do that.
So this one doesn't have
No,
corrections in
it
it
does
already.
not have the correction.
The one that she provided
So
tonight,
I would say we have to do that next.
it doesn't have. Okay, when I looked at it, I was looking at it online. I've got my copy
Yeah.
here.
That printed copy is what's online. But what you had online, I was okay with, but I don't know if everybody,
Okay, I haven't even looked at what she provided us tonight. It's different.
yeah,
It's,
not.
it's the original
It's
thing
the
she sent
original.
us.
Oh, okay.
Then I make a motion that,
I thought,
I
All right.
make a motion.
I didn't have any other issues with the stuff we've been commenting on for the workshop
For the-
meeting. The August 12th. I mean, you got comments from everybody?
I read it.
For the August
Tom
12th?
didn't.
I
You
didn't
guys-
see any other comments.
I'm good with it. I've got it right here. Hold up.
Tom, do you want
Here.
an opportunity to review it?
Electronic
or-
version.
Everyone's good with it, I'm good.
I saw your change your zoning, and that's the copy that I printed off.
Okay,
And the only edits that I had were on the last page.
where I kind of gave up on trying to figure.
And-
things
Right.
out.
And-
I was trying to,
At this point,
Did
I
you
was
see
just,
Mike's corrections?
yeah, I saw
Alright.
your corrections. I
So
was
then-
fine with those.
I was trying to make that clearer. in terms of
Yeah.
what was there.
By the last page, I was giving up on it. It was,
Oh, it's long. The
and
minute.
it was not good. It was-
Okay.
There
So-
were
then how
a
about
lot of
this?
changes.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from the workshop on August 12th as corrected in the version that Mike sent online.
Okay, that's the
That's
one that I have a
corrected.
copy of. here.
Yes, that Mike has a copy of today.
And I'll leave that one then. Okay.
Yes.
Because it's got my changes at the end in red. Everything else was
Yes.
already accepted.
And
Okay.
I'll second that motion.
All right, thank you, Louis. It's been moved by Brittany to approve the minutes for August the 12th. The online copy, and then the copy that I have here tonight, which I'll leave for the zoning assistant to review. And seconded by Louis. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries, so the 12th are also approved, so that brings us up. Correct. Good. And I don't know what'll happen with tonight's minutes. We'll have to wait and see.
They're not gonna be easy.
Good night, all.
Motion to adjourn. Wait, do I have to motion to adjourn?
Oh,
Oh, I make a motion to adjourn.
you're right. Thank you.
Second.
And Joni seconded, moved by Brittany, seconded by Joni. All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? We're adjourned. Thank you, Brittany. I got too anxious
Yeah.
to close down.
Just adjourn.
This one, I'm not quite sure what to do with, honestly.
I wish we had a recycle bin here.
Leave this there, I think.
That's what I was gonna do, leave the stack.
Yeah, I wasn't aware that they'd all the signatures had gotten to it, that's one of it.
So this is the stack of everything.
Yeah.
There's two checks in here that we probably don't.
And then this. Can go with the rest of those, because that's.
The thing with the people here saying something.
Now, was there a-
Because I'm not, like,
It is part
I
of
still don't know everything, and so I don't. like,
Mike left.
Going with the letter, the law, and the resolution. Well, we,
What's that?
are we allowed to just like, oh, I'm conforming, so I think we're okay. If it
Did he-
continues to be that, like, are we allowed? to do that?
Okay. They were anxious to get out of here. Unless they're in their meeting. I think,
Like, if-
I think.
well,
they
if there's
should
a law
slide it
to,
in the
like,
door, because the door's locked,
we don't
so
know
then
what
it'll be
to say.
safe.
Should I write something on there?
But-
All I have to
What's the
know,
name of
yes,
it?
is what I'm trying to say, is I don't know. what
Yeah, this
the
or,
law is,
uh,
but probably knows.
This one, that one's more.
Okay.
Banded
Well, like,
properties.
they would have to start the.
I
Because
really
they
need
did bring a
to be
lawsuit
out
against
here
last
since
one.
they're-
What number is it?
HTC 8.
There's one on the other side of the factory.
Yeah.
On the other side, I saw that.
Tom, you wanna witness this going under the door?
The other side of the cupolas or whatever people here. What do they
Yeah.
want to do that now?
Yes,
They got dismissed?
yes, that was.
Yeah. That's what I thought. Well, and that's why I'm kind of like, well, am I doing the wrong thing?
Yeah, they did, I'm not sure what happened, but yeah. It went to court, but I don't think it's ever,
They're in their rooms, TV rooms.
maybe it was never accepted. Somebody turned it off.
They were still there after all, they just had the door closed. So I gave them the check.
Oh.
Still on the air.
Oh. I'm just trying, yeah, thank you. I'm just trying to understand.
Let's start that off.
The opportunity.